Ford power window motor repair. Power window motor repair. This covers, I know, mid 80s to mid 90s Ford products, probably later. They all have the same problem, which I'll show you when we get the motor out. But basically, when you go to roll the window up or down, you just get this ding, 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 this like clunking noise. You can hear the motor turning. The window doesn't move. Got to get the motor out first. On the Ranger, you have to drill 2 holes unless you want to take all these rivets out and take the whole window regulator out. On this Explorer, they had 2 windows, 2 holes drilled, and it looks like they got a dimple there for the second hole to get the motor out. I don't want to take the whole regulator out, so I'm going to drill a hole here. These are 8mm bolts. They probably have that like that, so they'll know if anyone serviced it under warranty or whatever. But usually I can repair these without replacing them. So let me get the motor out. I'm going to drill that little dimple right there. I'm assuming that that marks it. Looks close. Here's the motor. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this open and I'll show you where it's broken. You can see this is all the plastic ground up in here, but basically I don't know if this one's going to be repairable, but you can see this just spins in here, and the gear is split in the middle. I guess it's a safety thing where if something gets caught in there, usually you can put something in here to replace this plastic. Let me see if I can get it apart. Alright, so there's a little clip. A little clip right here, and then the gear comes off, and you can see what they had here. This basically spins free in here, and then there were plastic inserts in here to complete this. So what I need to do is I need to put something in here, and I might use ball bearings. I got to play with it and see what'll fit. But basically this is smaller, so this will spin freely in there. I can't turn it as hard as the motor, but it slips because all of this plastic stuff, which is all ground up, were inserts, like little rubber inserts that were in there. Let's go over the fix that I've come up with. So these are the little spark plug things that screw on the base of the spark plug to enlarge the contact size. I'm using these. This is Napa, well I think it's Gates, but I get this from Napa fuel line. I believe it's 5/16 fuel line, and basically these things fit down inside here just perfect, like that. So you push that all the way in, and this is essentially what I've come up with. So you can see that there. Piece of fuel line with the spark plug thing in there to enhance the size, and that's it. It's good and tight, and it's got some padding to it. You can see it's got some roll there to it if it needs it. So this should be good for life. Alright, back together, greased everything up, and it's working very well. Battery's a little bit low, but only thing I would do different on this probably next time, because I do use this vehicle off-road pretty much primarily. I don't drive this around the city. Next time I would access this thing from the speaker, and I would only pull this back to about right here so I could get to the electrical connector and the screws. I wouldn't take this off. I'm going to use some contact cement and glue this plastic back on as best I can, because I don't want the dust in here or the air or whatever this thing is for. Noise suppression. This is the symptom right here. You could hear it's just slipping within those beads, those missing parts. All right, I've got this mostly back together. As best I could, I've glued this all back. I've used this contact cement from Napa. So yeah, this comes from Napa too, and this is like contact cement. And so what I did is I glued this back on as best I could because I want to try and keep the dirt out. I got all the holes plugged up. This should be good for the life of the vehicle, which probably isn't that much longer because this thing's got over 200 and something thousand on it now, and that's abusive off-road miles mostly. This is the passenger door. It's just pretty much a mirror image of the driver door. We have our dimple right there that needs to be drilled out. Then you can see that's one screw. That's the other screw. I'm going to try and not take the plastic off and just get it out to where I can lift it up. Get the 3 screws out, lift it up, put the hose in there, put it back in without even unplugging the wiring. And as I expected, you can easily get this out through the speaker hole once you know how it's put together. Here's all the ground up goodness. Alright, there are 3 new hose inserts with the spark plug caps. That's it, all back together and working good. And this is a much better route to take than taking this plastic off. Going through the speaker, taking a little bit more time, actually less than an hour to do the whole thing. And these are the only tools I've needed: a flat 8mm cat claw to get the door off, Phillips, and the Torx to get the screw out of the motor.